Your salary isn't telling you the truth anymore. And by 2026, it might not mean anything at all. Look, I know that sounds dramatic, but hear me out, because this isn't about some distant economic theory. It's about what's happening to your paycheck right now. You get your pay stub, you see that number at the top, and then you watch rent take half of it. Groceries take another chunk, gas, insurance, your phone bill. It all disappears before you even think about saving anything. That salary number, it's becoming less and less connected to what your money can actually do. Here's what I'm going to show you in this video. The 3 specific reasons your salary is losing its meaning faster than ever before, what's actually happening to the gap between what you earn and what you can afford, and most importantly, the one number you should be tracking instead that actually tells you if you're moving forward or falling behind. Because right now, with inflation still squeezing budgets and costs rising faster than wages in almost every category that matters, understanding this shift isn't optional anymore. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Your salary has always been a little bit of a lie. Not in a conspiracy way, just in a practical way. Think about it. If you make $50,000 a year, you don't actually make $50,000. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, Medicare, you're probably taking home somewhere around $37,000, $38,000. Already, your salary is overstating reality by about 12 grand. But that's been true for decades. What's different now is what happens after you get that paycheck. In 2020, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the U.S. was about $1,098 a month. By 2024, it hit $1,534. That's a 40% jump in 4 years. Meanwhile, median wages went up maybe 15% in that same period, if you were lucky. So let's do the math. Say you were making $45,000 in 2020, paying $1,100 in rent. That rent ate up about 29% of your take-home pay. Now you're making $52,000 in 2024, but your rent's $1,500. That's eating closer to 35% of your take-home pay. Your salary went up, but you got poorer. That's the illusion. The number on your offer letter keeps climbing, but it buys you less and less of the life you're actually trying to live. It's not just rent, it's everything that isn't optional. Car insurance rates jumped 26% between 2022 and 2024 alone. Groceries are up over 20% since 2021. If you've got student loans, they restarted last year after a 3-year pause, so that's another few $100s a month that wasn't there before. And medical costs? Don't even get me started. The average deductible for employer health plans is now over $1,700. So even if you have insurance, you're on the hook for almost $2 grand before it kicks in. One ER visit, one broken bone, one unexpected diagnosis, and your salary becomes meaningless real fast. This is why people making $60,000, $70,000, even $80,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. It's not because they're bad with money, it's because the cost of existing has outpaced income growth by such a massive margin that salary alone doesn't tell you anything anymore. So if salary doesn't matter, what does? Discretionary income. That's the money left over after you pay for the non-negotiables: rent, utilities, insurance, food, transportation, debt payments, the stuff you have to pay or your life falls apart. That number, the amount you actually control, is what determines your financial reality. And here's the thing, for a growing number of Americans, that number is shrinking, or it's gone entirely. According to recent data, about 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That means their discretionary income is basically zero. They're not building savings, they're not investing, they're just surviving month to month, hoping nothing breaks. You could give someone a $10,000 raise, and if rent goes up $8,000 and their car insurance jumps $2,000, their discretionary income didn't change at all. Their salary went up, their life didn't. This isn't about being pessimistic, it's about being realistic, because once you understand this, you can actually make better decisions. If you're job hunting, don't just look at salary. Look at cost of living in that city. Look at what rent actually costs. Look at commute times and gas prices. A $70,000 job in Austin might leave you with less discretionary income than a $55,000 job in a cheaper city. If you're negotiating a raise, frame it around inflation and cost increases, not just your performance. Your employer might think a 3% raise is generous, but if your rent went up 8%, you're still losing ground. Make that clear. And if you're trying to build financial stability, stop measuring success by salary alone. Track your discretionary income. Track how much you're actually able to save or invest each month. That's the number that matters. You might be wondering, why 2026? Why is that the breaking point? It's not a hard deadline, but it's when a few things converge. First, many of the pandemic-era relief programs and pauses are fully expired by now. Student loans are back. Expanded child tax credits are gone. Medicaid redeterminations happened. Millions of people lost coverage and are paying out of pocket again. Second, wage growth is slowing down. After a couple years of bigger increases due to labor shortages, things are cooling off. Companies aren't handing out the same raises they were in 2022 and 2023, but costs aren't cooling off at the same rate. Third, and this is the big one, credit card debt just hit an all-time high, over $1 trillion, and delinquency rates are climbing. That tells you people have been bridging the gap between their salary and their expenses by borrowing, and that only works for so long. By 2026, we're looking at a reality where a lot of people hit their limit. The credit cards are maxed, the savings are gone, and the salary that was supposed to be enough just isn't. So where does that leave you? It leaves you with a choice. You can keep chasing salary numbers and hoping they'll solve the problem, or you can shift your focus to what actually matters, how much control you have over your money after the bills are paid. That might mean moving somewhere cheaper. It might mean cutting expenses you thought were fixed. It might mean finding side income or changing careers entirely. I'm not saying any of that's easy, but pretending your salary alone will save you? That's not realistic anymore. The economy has changed. The relationship between what you earn and what you can afford has fundamentally shifted. And the sooner you stop letting that salary number fool you, the sooner you can start making decisions based on reality. Real security comes from understanding the rules, even when they're stacked against you. If this helped you see your paycheck differently, hit that subscribe button. I break down the financial stuff nobody else wants to talk about honestly, because you deserve the truth, not the hype. I'll see you in the next one.